Well, we are back at RWF, and I don't know, something about these gadgets, you know. That's a Sheltima trailer on the opposite side, like a going bankrupt company, I think, because instead of, they don't build any trailers. Those Tridem Jeeps, brand new Tridem, have been sitting there, I don't know, for a year. And this is an old either John Deere or Caterpillar place, so it's a huge property. So now basically they're renting space to truckers and buses and stuff like that. Actually, I remember when I talked to them when I was looking for, you know, replacement for my 55-ton. I talked to them and they were offering me to park my truck here, but this is Woodstock, you know, it's like 30 miles away from Cambridge, which is not too bad, but I don't know, there's nothing here. So now I'm here. I got up at 4:45 today. Why? Because I had to drop off my car. So I left my hotel at like 5 o'clock, drove my car to the tire place, where the Christian rules is the supreme ruler. And so basically they're gonna install that boot. I keep wanting to say sock. No, it's a boot on the axle, right? Because I got the part. Now they just need to install it. I think they'll have to take that half axle out, right? Like, how do you install the rubber things? Because, you know, it's a solid piece. And also I asked them to remove those defoulers, those spacers. They don't work. The check engine light is back on. And so I need a tune. I'm gonna install a tune and unlock the PCM. And to do that, I need to know my calibration ID. It's like a serial number of the PCM, and you can read it with a code reader. I saw a video on YouTube, but or if that does not work, you have to open the compartment. It's like on this side, on the passenger side, there's a compartment under the hood. But it's a nightmare. When I did it myself on Challenger, I broke those fasteners, those plastic fasteners. Then you have to go find them somewhere. It's stupid, you know. You need proper tools, and I'm not equipped for that, you know. Like, it's very delicate plastic over there. But anyway, so once you open the top and take out the filter on my Charger, I didn't have to remove the filter on the Challenger, but on the Charger it's slightly different design. And then you can unscrew one bolt in there that holds that PCM to the frame, and you can just pull it out slightly, so you don't have to disconnect anything, and just take a picture of the side with the sticker, you know, and then you put it back in. And so I asked him to do that because this guy has a code reader. I said, could you please try to see if your code reader can get me that calibration ID? If not, I will pay you to open the compartment and get me the calibration ID. And so anyway, so I was there like at 5:15, drop off the car, put the key in the slot. They have a special slot in there, you know, when you drop off the car after hours. Very convenient. So just put the key in the envelope, slid it through the slot, and it's inside the door. Then I called Uber. I'm thinking, okay, am I gonna find an Uber at 5:15 in the morning? No. Some guy shows up, but he was 10 minutes away, and by the time he got there, I managed to just walk to the McDonald's over there, which is open 24/7, get some coffee, and send a message to the guy, change of plans, meet me at McDonald's 1 block away. And the guy came over in a Toyota RAV4 and took me to my truck. I checked the truck, everything is good. Now I'm like super cautious, and I'm checking my mirrors when I'm doing turns, right, to make sure that the tires are turning. But yesterday a guy, I hired a guy, I worked with them before, very nice guys, a tire repair company. They do service calls, and the guy came over and I just asked him, take the 2 wheels from the Jeep and put them on the trailer, and take these. And I thought I'll just put them back on the Jeep. But the guy says, no, we can repair them. He said that flat surface, he says, they can be retreaded, but we don't do it ourselves, we send it out. So he says, you want us to do it? I said, yeah, sure. And he even let me go. He just took down my credit card number. He says, you don't have to wait here, because I showed him where the Jeep is, where my trailer is. I said, these are the bad tires now. And so he put some blocks under the Jeep, so on the last axle of the Jeep now sits on the block, and he took the wheels with the tires, and he says they're gonna call me to make, well, I give him the credit card, so if it doesn't work, they're gonna call me. But I give him my business card, and then on the way to Woodstock, I stopped at the Flying J in Air, because I was very low on DEF, and that's the only place on the way here, on the way to the border before this, where you can get DEF at the pump. But the price now, man, used to be 85 cents per liter. Now it's like $1.25 per liter. It's pretty much the same price as gas for a car. And I remember they were saying DEF will never go up in price because it's urea, it's very cheap, and BS. So now that stupid DEF, you know, and without it I cannot drive, because I'll have a check engine light and it'll kill my engine, you know, like stop the engine. Suspicious looking pickup truck showed up and parked over there, and I see in the back it has strobe lights. Sure enough, it's a cop. A cop got out of the driver's seat and he's walking inside there. Excuse me, sir, where have you been yesterday at 9 p.m? Because it's like, you know, I have an eye for this, because even this guy, he only has one antenna on the roof. You know, usually you can tell by antennas, because police vehicles have a bunch of antennas, but this guy on the back window, I saw right away he has strobe lights, you know, kind of like hidden. So it's a unmarked police vehicle. Well, I moved out of the way, so that green monstrosity over there, that's what I'm picking up. And they cannot drive here, like where the machine is sitting now. They have a concrete pad specific. That's where the only place where you can load, like, because if that thing goes on this pavement here, it'll just turn that into this. And so this machine was in the back. What they did is they asked me to move the truck back, and so the guy just went on the dirt. That's how they do it. And he went over there through the dirt and right onto the concrete pad, and now they parked it over there. That's where the wash bay is. So now they're gonna wash it, and meanwhile I was able to do all my customs paperwork. I already sent everything to Livingston, and I promptly received a reply: message rejected. And son of a gun, you know, because I have these guys, you know, they have an email address for customs paperwork. The first part before the dog you know, sign is US imports, plural, US imports. But a couple of times I made a mistake and I just typed in US import, and I cannot get rid of it. It sits in the memory of my computer, and so sometimes, you know, I forget that that was the wrong one. And that's what I did this morning. So I sent all the paperwork to US import, and it was rejected. I see a message from postmaster, and so I had to go back to my computer and type in US imports, and that one is of course in the memory as well. So it found the proper email address. And see, that's a typical Canadian trailer. You don't see many of these in the States. He's bringing lots of metal, and that's why it's also tricky, you know, when you wait here. They don't want you to block this entrance. And actually first they said, can you flip around? Can you go on the road, turn around so that I'm facing that way? And they said this way we can just drive on. I said no way. I said I'm not doing that, because a couple of times I was loading like that, and then I cannot get out of here because I cannot do 180 degrees like this, you know. So I have to go like this, like this, like this, like this. It's just a nightmare. So that's how I prepared the deck, man. But you see, the trick is, because the tracks, they're so wide, I want to make sure that this sits on the wood. Otherwise, if it sits like that, the track will be off and will not put any pressure, right? So that's why I'm doing it like this. So the ones, at least one part of the tire has to sit on the board, because these tracks, they're probably like, you know, like this wide. So I think we should be good. And then I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna put these on this metal over here, because otherwise this thing just bends everything, you know, when the grouses get on this. And then I saw they have some timbers. The next thing I want to do is, I don't want to use my own because I'll just break them. I'm gonna use those. So the blade will sit somewhere there. I'm gonna put the blade like this. We're gonna turn it. But over here, it'll chew in all these ramps. You see this? That's what happens. So I'm gonna see, I saw they have some timber, so I'm gonna put timbers like here, you know, like maybe 6 by 6 or something that I saw they have on the side there, and let the machine crawl on those timbers, and then the angle will be much more, you know, much more shallow. Well, I just called Livingston, because usually they send you automatic confirmation that they received your paperwork. This time there was nothing, even after I resent to the correct email address. So I call them, and I can feel like these guys, they like using customer service from Asia. So I could feel it's either India or Philippines, you know. They have this slight accent. And so the lady confirmed that I gave her my PEPS number. She says, yeah, somebody's already working on it. And then I got an email from a broker I work with quite often, and he says, can you help me out with this beast? And it's like a mass mailing, so I see it's not my name, and you know, it's like to everybody. So basically he sent this out to everybody on his list, and it says, can you help me out with this beast? Tacoma, Washington to Sergei, BC. Load ASAP. Miles 160. Length 71 feet 6 inches. Requires 29 in the well. 29 feet in the well. 10 feet 4 inches wide. 12 feet 4 inches tall. 134,261 pounds. I wonder how they came up with that accurate weight. 134,261. No tarp. And the last line in the message is in red. It has the $sign, and it says bring options. So basically you tell them how much money you want, and they will deal with the customer. So this is, again, heavy short distance. The problem is that it's on the other side of the country, needs 29 in the well, and it's 134,000 pounds, right? Max I can do is 120 on a good day, and then I would need probably like 10 axles, which I have. So I cannot do it, right? But I decided to have the fun with the broker, because it says no tarp, and I'm gonna reply. I said no tarp. Sorry, I only move tarped loads. tires, it was a genius decision. They just got squashed, so now this whole thing sits on the rubber, you know, and there's still pressure, see, on the boards, but you see how sharp these are? So there's two on the sides, one in the middle. All right, so they're giving it one final rinse, and then I can tie it down, and off we go into the distance.